to today's video. As you can probably tell by the title, I thought it would be fun to talk about my mermaid journey, how I became a mermaid, how I found the community, and just some fun, interesting stories along the way. So my introduction to the world of real mermaids, wearing mermaid tails and performing and things, was through a mermaid conspiracy documentary. It was like a fake documentary where these people said that they like went down into the depths and they got mermaids on camera, and it was completely fake, but I was like 14, so I don't think I knew it was fake. I liked a lot of conspiracy theories back then, so I just ended up on this weird train, ended up watching this mermaid documentary, and then as YouTube does, it shows like suggested videos on the side, and one of them was these like 3 teenage girls swimming in fin fun tails, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I clicked on that, and I was like, oh my god, these girls have real mermaid tails. What the heck? That exists? And I'm pretty sure I spent the next probably 4 or 5 months researching, looking at fin fun, picking a favourite tail, and eventually I managed to convince my mum to get me one for Christmas in 2015. I got the Arctic blue tail from Fin Fun, and it was my favourite thing ever. I slept in it, I slept with it in my bed, I took it everywhere, I wore that thing to shreds, literally. By the time I decided I could no longer wear it, it stretched up, like I could wear it like up to my neck, and the fabric was disintegrating, so I got a lot of good swims out of that. One of my sister's friends was doing photography at high school, and she said that she could take some mermaid photos of me if I wanted, which was very cool. So we went to one of my favourite places called Snug Falls, and I've now done 3 different mermaid photo shoots there, I think, and we took my first mermaid photos, and I was like, what am I gonna do with these? Like, I could put them on my Facebook, I don't know. So I made an Instagram account for my mermaid stuff, and it's the same Instagram account that I have now. If you scroll all the way back, you can find my old Fin Fun Snug Falls photo shoot. But yeah, that's where I actually found the community. I don't know if I really knew that there was like all of these people, but Instagram was definitely what actually connected me with them. And I started making online friends, like mermaids that were on the mainland or in different countries. It was crazy because I didn't know that this existed, and it didn't feel like it existed in Tassie, where I'm from. Yeah, I loved my Instagram account, and it's still the same one that I use to this day, and it's very cool being able to like look back and see all the different tails and all my different like friends I've swum with, and yeah, I just love that. In 2017, I think it was, I got one of the Finfolk Gen 1 Mythic tails. I'm pretty sure I was the first person in Australia to get one, which was pretty cool. And the majority of my Instagram followers came from getting that tail. Like, I remember I got like a couple thousand followers in weeks, and my account has like stagnated since then. It's never gone up, it's never gone down, but you know, it doesn't really matter. But yeah, so I made a lot more friends through that. I met other people who had mythic tails, and it was very cool to be a part of this. Like, you know, before that, and especially now Finfolk's known for like their fabric tails and things as well. Before that, Finfolk was like just silicone tails, just custom tails. It was impossible to get on the wait list. They were so expensive. It was kind of like only the elite kind of mermaids that would ever be able to have a Finfolk tail. So for them to release the mythic tails was like an accessible option for a lot of people. They were still expensive, but they were nowhere near as expensive as a silicone tail. And to have one of those, I felt like, I was like, wow, like I'm really a part of this. Like, I have stepped it up. I've got like a name brand tail. It's not just Fin Fun, like it's not a kid's tail. It was very, very exciting. And I don't have a lot of regrets as a mermaid, but one of them is selling my mythic tail. I so deeply wish I still had that tail. I've had, I would say, dozens of tails, and I sell them on. I'm not a very sentimental person. I will get a tail, I will love it, and I will use it, and then I'll decide it's time for it to go to someone else. And so I generally keep like 3 to 5 tails just for me at any one time, and I sell through them occasionally. The mythic tail is the one that I wish I had never sold. I originally sold it to my best friend, who I will talk about shortly, and then they sold it off to someone else, and I never saw it again. So yeah, that's probably one of my only big regrets as a mermaid. So for those first couple of years, from like 2015 to 2017, I was a lone mermaid. I swam by myself. I would take like my family or the occasional friend to the pool or the beach to swim with them, but I didn't have any other mermaids to swim with. I didn't know if there was anyone else in Tassie. Didn't seem like there was. But in late 2017, I got to go to Mercon, which was Australia's mermaid convention. It doesn't run anymore, which is sad, and it doesn't seem to have been replaced by anything, which is a bummer because it was amazing. But I took my sister there, and she got to swim in a tail too, which was very cool. And I got to meet like all of the Australian mermaids, like all of the big ones from back then, like Fifi and Coastal Mermaids and Perth Mermaids, Amelia and Jess, and I've made lifelong friends. Like I still talk to these mermaids like quite often, and I get to see what they're doing on Facebook, and it's really cool. And it was such an experience to be like, wow, like this really is a community. Like we had dinner together, we watched movies, and we swam together. We swam off the Bustleton jetty, which was like 11 meters deep or something, which was crazy. As someone who'd never really done any diving or anything, I just like to swim in pools and like in the shallows in the ocean. That was a really cool experience to be like, hey, this is like what you could do. Like this is a real thing. I think around that year was when I like just kind of deep dived into mermaid stuff. I was pretty obsessed for a few years, and it comes and goes really. But around 2017 as well, I got my best friend Mermaid September into swimming in tails, and they're the one that I sold my mythic tail to originally, and then they passed that along, but they got their first tail from Suntails, and we still swim together today. They are my primary photographer and videographer, so pretty much anything you see on my channel that is filmed underwater is probably filmed by September. I love them so much. They're literally my best friend, have been my best friend for a very long time now, and I'm so grateful to have them because otherwise I really wouldn't be able to get a lot of the footage that I get. I love being able to have someone that I can swim with and that I trust, and that we have such a good time together, and I'm so grateful that I was able to get them into this hobby, and that they've stuck around in it as well. So September is a much more social and outgoing person than I am, and they decided that we needed to find other Tasmanian mermaids, so eventually we did. I mean, I'll admit, I didn't really look that hard because I don't like people very much a lot of the time, but September made it happen, and we found Mermaid Azrael, I believe was our first other podmate, and we thought this is enough for a group chat. Let's make a group chat so we can coordinate swims and things, and that ended up being the Tasmania pod, so we sort of founded that. It's still a very small pod. It's probably the smallest in Australia, I imagine. We have like maybe like 30 members or something total, but there's probably like 10 that are active. We normally get like 4 or 5 come to each swim. But yeah, that's where that started, and which is really cool to be like, cool, like I know all of these members. I was here for every single one of these members, like introduction into the pod, which is very cool. I'm not an admin of the group anymore. I stepped back earlier this year, but I do still try and stay active within the pod, and we go on swims and stuff, and we're coming into summer now, so Azrael has booked our first in-person pod swim once our local outdoor pool opens back up in November. So that's booked in. I'm very excited. And now that the ocean's starting to warm up and we get these warm days, we'll start going out again, which is nice. And it's always nice to have a few friends to swim with as well. We don't get to swim together very often. It's really just through summer. There's not really any indoor pools that allow us to swim in our tails. And the ocean at its warmest in about February gets to about 18 degrees Celsius, which is still pretty cold. We've sort of acclimatized, but every time I mention that to anyone who lives in like a more tropical area, they're like, how the hell are you swimming that? Like, that's not fun. It does hurt sometimes, like it hurts your ears and your face and stuff when it's really chilly. But yeah, I generally will swim from like September through to like March, normally in the ocean. There's a couple other people in our pod who are like more free divers, and they'll swim sort of through winter, which is a bit much for me because I'm not much of a free diver, but yeah, we sort of have a limited time in Tassie to swim, so I really try and make the most of the nice warm days that we do get in the summer. I have fallen out of the mermaid community multiple times through the years, and I think a lot of people do. Sometimes there's things that happen, sometimes there's drama, sometimes life just gets in the way and you just don't have a chance to connect with people anymore. But it's really nice to know that every time I've fallen out and every time I've come back, the same people, my friends, are always still there, and it's just really comforting to know like these people have a common interest with me, and we can really enjoy each other's company, and it's really just, it makes it worth it. Every time I feel like, oh, maybe I don't really have much good going on, I can come back to the mermaids and I'm like, yes, actually I do. There's something really cool. We all love to do this together, and it warms my heart. The last 5 or so years of my life have sort of been a roller coaster. I guess that's adulthood and stuff. I started a lot of mermaid stuff when I was a young teenager, but I moved interstate to study acting. I then moved interstate again to like pursue acting, and then last year I moved back to Tasmania to move back in with my parents. Last year I was also diagnosed with autism, so that has been a whole thing of trying to figure out, and a lot of therapy and all sorts of stuff that I'm still kind of working through. So I feel like sometimes mermaiding takes the back burner, but I always like to come back to it because it's something that just, it really brings me a lot of joy, and I love making videos, and like as an actor as well, like that's what I want to do. Like I love being in front of the camera and I love being in the ocean, so being able to combine those two things is really just like, it's something that really grounds me, and it really just makes me happy. And I wish that I got to do it for more than like 4 months of the year in the ocean, but you know, I'll take what I can get. I don't really know what's Next for me, I don't know if anybody cares, but you know, it's kind of what this video is about, I guess, where I came from and where I'm going, but I kind of just like being in this little bubble at the moment. I love filming swim videos. They are relaxing and I love editing them. And I love doing these occasional talking videos as well, but yeah, I don't really know. I'm just kind of just floating along. I'm just doing my thing and trying to enjoy it. So it's been really nice, and I hope that I can keep this kind of going. Next year I am going to Sydney with a couple of the Tasmanian mermaids for a mermaid meetup on International Mermaid Day, I think, in March or something. So that's very exciting. We've booked flights, but we need to figure out the rest. But I've never been away with other mermaids before that's not my best friend, so I'm very excited for that and to meet and swim with some new mermaids that I've connected with over social media. So that will be really fun, and it should actually still be pretty warm in March in Sydney, so I'm looking forward to that as well. I do have a couple of new tails sort of in the works. They may be a while because I have no money, but I am working on a hybrid tail, so I'll keep you updated when I have actual photos I can share of that. It's a bit nothing at the moment. And I have like a custom tail designed but not ordered that I'm thinking of getting from Two Oceans Mermaid Tails, so that will be exciting, and if and when I eventually get the money to be able to order that, obviously I will do unboxings and I'll swim in it and all those fun things. But yeah, that's kind of all I've got going on at the moment. I feel like I'm sort of in a bit of a stalemate, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to work out a lot of things in my personal life, and that's hard. So yeah, I guess that's kind of it. That's where I started. Those are some of my favorite points of my mermaid journey, and I'm sure that there will be many more to come. I'm nearly coming up to 10 years in the mermaid community next year, 2025. Bleh. That will be my 10-year anniversary at Christmas, because I got my first tail for Christmas, which is scary to think about. I feel old and I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, quick interjection that I forgot to film. This was the first video I did working off of a script, and I feel like I missed a bunch of things. I didn't talk about my first time swimming in a tail. I sort of just forgot a few things. I'm very sorry, but if there's anything I missed that you want to hear about, just let me know and I'll do my best. I hope you enjoyed the video a little bit. I would love to hear some of your favorite mermaid memories or your mermaid journey in the comments below. If you have any questions, always let me know. I love chatting to you guys in the comments. But yeah, thanks so much for being here, and I guess I will see you in the next video. Bye!